Realtor friends, Brendan McKay here, McKay Mortgage. Welcome to 5 Minutes or Less. Today we're going to be talking about first-time homebuyer programs. First-time homebuyer programs are wonderful. They get a lot of potential homeowners into homes that they wouldn't otherwise. That being said, I believe it to be true that not all first-time homebuyers should necessarily be leveraging first-time homebuyer programs. And there's a strategy that would be very positive and applicable for a lot of these people that end up in the programs. And I'm going to show it to you. Furthermore, I know that getting an offer accepted with the first-time homebuyer program can oftentimes be more difficult than if it was standard financing. So this is going to help you win more deals and help you save your clients some money and put them in a better financial position. And that's what we love to do. Let me show you what the hell I'm talking about. All right. So this is $300,000. We use this this sheet to kind of show options side by side with each other. It can be very effective at just kind of breaking everything down in a way that makes sense. This is a standard Fannie Mae product, 30-year fixed with 3% down. You do not have to be a first-time home buyer to qualify for this program of note. Interest rate, here's principal and interest, taxes, insurance, total payment, down payment, closing costs, escrow account, $20,000 total cash to close, okay? Now here is a standard first-time home buyer program. This happens to be Maryland's program, but most of these work the same in that you get a grant, in this case, $6,000. This one gives 2% of the sales price. It can go towards the closing costs or the down payment, but the interest rate's higher, and that's common across these programs. It's not truly free money. The rate is going to be higher. You can't just do a normal program and get this money. These rates are published by whatever jurisdiction runs the program. Okay. Now, having a higher rate is bad. Getting the money is good. Options are good. One is not strictly better than the other. Now, I'm going to make an argument over here that this option is strictly better than this middle one. This is a standard Fannie Mae product with purposely increased the interest rate to 6.75%, okay? This is not a first-time homebuyer program. You can purposely increase the rate, and the reason that you would do that is that you would generate a lender credit. So look what happens to the closing cost, $6,860 to $1,000, okay? What's happening is, think of this from the lender's perspective. To the borrower, the interest rate is a cost. To the lender, it's a rate of return on their investment. And if the borrower will give them a higher rate of return, they will give them upfront money for doing so in the form of a lender credit. Now, a lot of times this isn't advertised because a lot of lenders keep that extra money as profit, and it's not something that's always advertised. But most local lenders and local originators and local mortgage brokers do not. Okay, they pass along those savings to the buyer. So when we look at this approach compared to here, let's look at apples to apples. Same interest rate. Okay. Now, we don't have this grant, but we do have the closing costs are significantly lower. So we end up with the exact same interest rate and bringing $1,000 less to closing. And we can see it over here because there's usually an $1,100 underwriting fee tied to these programs. So the net difference, we're looking at over $7,000 in difference, there's $6,000 anyways, you got it. So you end up with the exact same interest rate and you're bringing $1,000 less to closing. Even if you were bringing the same amount to closing, I would still argue that this option is better. And the reason for that is this lender credit never has to be paid back. On the Maryland program, this $6,000, even if you sell your home 20 years after buying it, has to be paid back. A lot of other jurisdictions, it phases out after 10 years. After 10 years, the money's forgiven. But if you sell the house, move out, or refinance, within those 10-year periods, some portion of it is due back, okay? So this is never, you could refinance this 6 months after closing and you would not have to pay that lender credit back. So this is a strategy that I use to kind of show people, maybe this isn't the best option for you. Now, when it is if people have less than perfect credit, the first-time homebuyer programs don't always ping people as much as standard programs do. Furthermore, if they really don't even have the $14,000 to bring to closing, or $9,000 to bring to closing. Over here, you can negotiate a seller credit to bring less than $9,000 to closing because this grant can be applied towards the down payment. On this one, the credit cannot. It can only be applied to closing costs and escrow. So at a very, very minimum, they're bringing $9,000 to closing no matter how you structure this, okay? So if somebody doesn't have $9,000 to bring to closing, they're going to have to go with a first-time homebuyer program. But otherwise, I think that this option works out better. That's it. That covers it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments or shoot me an email. That's it. Have a good one. Take it easy.